Hello everyone. Today is 18th of February. Now it's 9 o'clock in the evening Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is a new episode. Hello everyone. This is new episode of traditional Sunday live stream. I see I'm online now. And well, thank you all for joining the stream, for your attention. Hopefully more members of our community will join soon. It's 11 of us right now, and well, as always I will start with the latest news that was reported in Russian media and Russian language pages, and then after that I will get engaged with the chat. I will read the questions if I see any, and I will try to answer if I can. Once again, thank you all for participating. Hello everyone, and well, let's start Sunday's live stream. Unfortunately, I was unable to make live stream last Sunday, but well, I will make live stream today. And dear friends, first of all, I want to share with you latest developments from the zone of special military operation. We have some interesting updates, and well, according to reports from number of military channels here in Russia, Russian armed forces continue their offensive operations in Avdiivka direction. And several hours ago, information became available that Russian forces managed to establish control over the Lastachkina, this village. Here we have no official confirmations. This is Avdiivka, by the way, this area, and this is Lastachkina, one of the villages where Ukrainian units were trying to retreat from Avdiivka. And yet again, I did share this news on my Telegram, but yet again, let's wait if we will receive official confirmation of this news that Lastachkina is under full Russian control. And also we have reports that Russian forces are getting closer to Severnaya, this village here, on the southern side from Lastachkina. And same time we have reports that Russian armed forces managed to significantly improve positions in Orekhov bridgehead, area. And I have also news from TASS news agency, if I'm not mistaken, which is based on statements of Vladimir Rogov, who is head of We Are With Russia organization, NGO, that operates in Zaporozhye sector, in Zaporozhye region in general. And Rogov always comments on situation in Zaporozhye sector of the front line, and he said that Russian armed forces managed to establish control over the 4 strongholds in areas in between Rabotina, which is this village here, by the way, between Rabotina and Verbove. And some military channels report that Russian forces regain control over the so-called first line of defense, where this dragon teeth, probably you did see in many videos, this dragon teeth on the first line of defense in the fields between Rabotina and Verbove. And well, Russian channels reported just about an hour ago, maybe a little more than that, Russian units regained control over some territories in this first line of defense that were lost during this so-called Ukrainian counteroffensive. There are also reports that Russian forces entered Rabotina itself, this village, only village basically on Orekhov bridgehead, that become under control of Ukrainian forces as a result of this Ukrainian counteroffensive, spring-summer counteroffensive. And well, it's at this point it's only a matter of time, undoubtedly, and Rabotina will become under full control of Russian armed forces. Maybe days or maybe even hours. I would not be surprised at all if tomorrow morning we will receive information that as a result of clashes during the night time, Russian forces establish control over the Rabotina. It is possible. That's how difficult situation for Ukrainian units are in this direction, and they may retreat at any time. Seems like the defense lines are already collapsing. If report from Vladimir Rogov, head of this organization we are with Russia, is correct, and Russian forces already managed to establish control over the 4 strongholds in Orekhov bridgehead area. And I remind you, dear friends, that some channels are reporting that it is, according to those channels, it is possible that next Russian, the sectoral scale offensive operation will take place in Zaporozhye sector of the front. I'm a little skeptical of it. I think Russia will focus attention mainly in Seversk direction, which is of course northern sector of the front line. Here in this area, Krasny Liman sector. But I mean, who knows? Who knows? Maybe we will see Russian sectoral offensive in Zaporozhye sector, or maybe on both sectors. Russian forces definitely are in a position to increase pressure on Ukrainian units just about anywhere on the line of contact, and basically that's what Russian forces are doing, increasing pressure on regular basis. And let's go through some news now that Russian media outlets reported. RIA Novosti's report here about Russian progress in Avdiivka direction. I just reported that most likely Lastachkina is under Russian control, according to several military channels, and RIA Novosti is reporting that Russian armed forces improve their position, move forward basically for 8.6 kilometers. And from if you take a look at the map, Lastachkina exactly in that distance from Avdiivka. But yet again, as you can see, Lastachkina is here and Avdiivka is here, so it's definitely just several kilometers away. But yet again, without official confirmation, hard to tell, or without video confirmation. I guess for tomorrow morning we will have some more information. And this is news that I was talking about statements of Rogov, head of this NGO We Are With Russia, and he said that Russian armed forces established control over the 4 strongholds in Zaporozhye sector, in Rabotina area, and who knows, maybe for tomorrow morning, Rabotina will become under full Russian control. It is possibility. Also, RIA Novosti's report that well, Ukraine officials are not happy with US, and during the Munich conference, on the sidelines of Munich conference, Ukrainian officials are complaining for uncertainty that is created as a result of refusal of House Republicans in the US to vote for initiated by Biden, and then voted in Congress this bill about military support to Kiev regime, also Israel and Taiwan. Well, not really surprising. Let's say not really surprising that Kiev regime is not happy, because, well, maybe they were already counting homes or houses or mansions that they're gonna buy with some money that they will steal from this whatever sum will arrive in Kiev from this 60 billion. And now they have some issues, you know. They had the dreams to have huge mansions in Dubai maybe, or I don't know, in Florida somewhere, or maybe in California, who knows, man. And they are not happy now with US House Republicans, that they are not giving them this opportunity to buy more homes, more cars, and whatever they are basically spending this steal money of Western taxpayers. Also, by the way, RT's report that Germany could hike military spending, according to Defense Minister. Germany's multi-billion military budget increase could bring the country's spending on its army to as high as 3.5% of GDP. Well, Germany definitely is listening to recommendations from Washington, and they are not just increasing for up to 2% their spendings, 2% of GDP, but they are quite possibly will double this number, and they will spend 3.5% of their GDP. Huge increase, of course, huge increase in spendings. This was stated by Pistorius, by the way, Boris Pistorius, defense minister of Germany. And yet again, as I said quite a number of times, all this scaremongering tactic that was deployed by Western ruling class and their puppets in governments of NATO member states is definitely working. Many people are, I guess, scared, are under the influence of this crazy propaganda of the Western elites, and they are scared. Maybe they are really believing that if not today, tomorrow Russia can attack some NATO member states, which is, I mean, such a crazy idea. But still, by the way, propaganda is very influential stuff. Propaganda may do some tricks with the consciousness of people. And look at this, by the way. Germany has experiencing significant difficulties in economy, which is in at least technical recession right now. And still, government of Germany is coming up with these ideas to increase, basically double their spendings on defense. And nobody is challenging these decisions of the German government. Because who gonna challenge them? MSM is under full control, and people are scared. I mean, significant number, majority, I would say, are scared to even ask questions. I mean, if they really think that Russia will attack today or tomorrow, then I don't think they will be against increasing spendings. If people really think that this is the only way to protect themselves. And unfortunately, not everybody is looking for alternative sources of information to check really what is going on, to check these statements of the Western ruling elites. And therefore, I'm quite sure German government will have no significant opposition when it comes to increase of spendings on military, and very same will happen with the other countries, other NATO member states. And not just this, by the way, I'm quite sure, probably many of you know that I was predicting that one of the steps that Western ruling elites will make will be reintroduction of conscription in army, in military, and most likely Germany, United Kingdom, some other countries will start again drafting people for military service. It's at this point, it seems to me inevitable and logical step that Western governments will take after propaganda that they are pushing on societies. And yet again, they will receive no challenges on this. Anyway, RT's report that one of the EU states will give all its artillery to Ukraine. This is not the first state that will do this kind of stuff. And this time we are talking about Denmark. So Denmark will transfer all of its artillery to Ukraine. Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen said during the panel debate at the Munich Security Conference on Saturday. According to her, despite production issues, Copenhagen and the EU in general have enough arms stockpiles to supply the country with the necessary weaponry. Okay, Denmark, I mean, it's your sovereign right, but why then Danish government, yet again, I mean, why Danish government is positioning this country as an enemy of Russia, I have no idea, man. And why people are not opposing this, I mean, in mass. Of course, there will be some well-informed parts of society, well-informed members of society in Denmark that will oppose this and will raise voice, but it's just not enough. And majority will, of course, be under influence of propaganda and will say nothing. While this is a, I guess, serious issue, Denmark is sacrificing its own defense capabilities by transferring all artillery systems and God knows what else to country that has nothing to do with Denmark. I mean, where is the Denmark and where is the Ukraine, man? What the hell? But it is what it is, man. And I remind you, dear friends, that in Slovakia, when after recent parliamentary elections, of course, there were new cabinet of ministers, and the defense minister from this new cabinet said that previous government basically demilitarized Slovakia. They sent so much weapons to Kiev regime that they effectively demilitarized Slovakia. Slovakia has no enough weapons to protect itself now, and fully relies on other NATO member states, which is also crazy, isn't it? And well, Denmark is going in the same way. Total craziness, but what you gonna do, man? I mean, what you gonna do about it? RTs report that well, Netherlands current prime minister, caretaker prime minister, let's say, Mark Rutte, has refused to say whether he would support Ukraine's membership in NATO at the upcoming bloc leaders meeting, insisting that admitting Ukraine to NATO is not feasible while the conflict with Russia is ongoing. And he also spoke about F-16s and repeated basically what he already has said before, that F-16s are on the way to Ukraine, promised by Dutch government. F-16s, some of them most likely already are in Romania, most likely. And well, I would not be surprised if those planes will be transferred to Ukraine just about any day. Who knows? Once again, why Netherlands needs this fight when it's not Netherlands' fight? I have no idea, but I guess that they cannot refuse orders from Washington and London. That's all it is, really. Most likely. TASS news agencies report also that Prime Minister of Estonia, Kaja Kallas, she is quite a phenomenon, isn't it? This Russophobic individual, extremely Russophobe and xenophobe individual. And she is not happy, by the way. She is not happy and expressing her unhappiness that not all EU member states and not all NATO member states are seeing this inevitable Russian invasion. And they are not all European states are seeing some threats from Russia. Probably she wants every single NATO member state to get in line, leadership of all NATO member states to get in line and start talking in unison that Russia will attack. But well, some countries are refusing to play these games. And well, quite understandably, this individual, Kaja Kallas, is not happy about it, and many others, I guess. There are so many Russophobes, by the way, in leadership of NATO member states. Thankfully, not all of them, which is good, man, which is leaves some chance, some window, basically, that sometime in the future, these relationships between Russia and Western states will be rebuilt, but it will take long. It will take definitely a long time. And Interfax is also reporting that today in Telegram's work, there was some technical issues. Many of you, if you are actively using Telegram, probably did notice that there are some issues with Telegram. But for now, I guess those issues have been resolved. And well, this is it when it comes to short summary. When it comes to short summary of the news for this evening. And well, now I will check chat, and if I see any questions, I will definitely try to answer. Once again, dear friends, thank you very much for participating in this stream, and of course, many thanks to all the members of our community who will watch this video later on in recording. And before I continue, if I may, I will remind you that you can support my work by using donation alert. Link is in the description box. and also buy me coffee. If I see any questions on any of these platforms during the stream, on donation alerts or on buy me coffee, of course I will answer to those questions, or I will read commentary during the live stream. Yes, links are in the description box, as I said. And now let's go through the chat. And dear friends, if I may, I will ask you to put capital Q before question, so that I can recognize question a little easier. And or you can write entire question in the capital letters. And I see first question. Philippa C is asking, Levan, how far from Kiev are they, and do they need to go all the way to Kiev before Ukraine surrenders? They, you mean us? I mean Russian forces, I guess. And right now Russian forces are, when it comes to northern sectors of the front line, from there to Kiev, quite a distance. Closest to Kiev, closest units of Russian forces to Kiev are stationed in Belarus and in Russian Federation. And if there will be some offensive in direction of Kiev, probably simultaneously there will be offensive in direction of Sumy region, in that case, and Chernigov region. But yet again, I don't think Ukrainian armed forces will last so long, because one or two more similar stories, like in Avdiivka, and I guess Ukrainian armed forces will start to collapse all along the front line, and that's the time when, in my understanding, Russian side will start conducting decisive offensive operations. It's not necessary to get to Kiev, really. And I said many times before that Russian strategy, this active defense strategy, have been deployed by Russian side to, first of all, minimize casualty numbers among civilians, among military personnel, and secondly, to demilitarize Kiev regime on more or less same line of contact. And well, Russian side quite effectively uses this tactic. We see that quite a number of brigades of Ukrainian armed forces were demilitarized or neutralized in Lysychansk direction in 2023, in Bakhmut direction also in 2023. Then Kiev regime started this so-called offensive, spring-summer offensive, and basically almost entire strategic reserves of Kiev regime was destroyed during that so-called counteroffensive. But because of this constant forceful mobilization in Ukraine and kidnappings of people on the streets and so on, that we see many times on videos, Kiev regime was able to reinforce these destroyed brigades, to bring some more manpower on the line of contact. And then, well, now Avdiivka happened. A little bit earlier, Marinka. And I guess Russian forces will continue actively use this tactic, active defense strategy, to demilitarize active, more or less battle-capable brigades that will be sent to the front line. Because Avdiivka is under full Russian control now, question is in which direction Russian side will try to create another trap, big trap, like Avdiivka was, or like Bakhmut was before that. My understanding is that most likely it will be Seversk direction, although, as I mentioned in the beginning of live stream, many military channels are reporting about big concentration of Russian forces in Zaporozhye sector of the front line, and maybe we will see Russian this sectoral scale, not a large scale or frontal scale, but at least sectoral scale offensive operation in Zaporozhye sector in direction of Orekhov, for example. But whatever direction Russian armed force is going to choose to create situation like in Avdiivka. Main point will be of that offensive to basically invite additional brigades of Kiev regime to join the battle in that direction, and yet again, one or two more such operations like in Avdiivka, and I don't think Kiev regime will have any strategic reserves left, and most likely Ukrainian armed forces will start to collapse. Defense lines of Ukrainian armed forces will start to collapse. Maybe this will happen even without Russian these sectoral offensive operations. That's also a possibility because, okay, one may say in Avdiivka direction, Ukrainian forces was unable to establish some new defense lines, and therefore Russian armed forces quite in short time established control over the this settlement. Excuse me, Lastechkina, which is just several kilometers away from Avdiivka. But as I reported earlier, Russian armed forces also improved their positions in Zaporozhye sector of the front line, and Rabotina may become under full Russian control in quite short time. And yes, I mean, it may not even be necessary to conduct similar to Avdiivka operation. Ukrainian armed forces may collapse by steadily increasing pressure on Ukrainian units on the line of contact. And after that, I don't know when it will happen, when Ukrainian defense lines will start collapsing all along the front line in 1 month's time, 2 months' time, or 5 months' time. But once this will happen, then we will see decisive operations from Russian armed forces, and eventually, of course, Russian units will reach Kiev also. My understanding is that once this conflict will end, the entire Ukraine, with the exception of western regions, will be under full Russian control. I will give to it 99%, and I will just leave 1% that Russian forces will establish control only from Kharkov to Odessa region, and allow Kiev and surrounding regions to remain as a landlocked quasi-state under the name of Ukraine. But yet again, why would Moscow agree on that when it is obvious that Western ruling elites will use that quasi-state against Russia constantly? I mean, this is a serious question. So most likely Ukraine will be divided, and after this conflict there will be no more Ukrainian political map. I hope I did answer to the question. Let's go through the Jared Troy is commenting, Levan, here in Australia, the politicians are practically saying that Putin killed Navalny. The propaganda is strong with our politicians and media. Well, of course they're gonna say that, of course. And dear friends, if investigation will conclude that there was external influence, as I said in my updates, I'm convinced in that case that was Western secret services, because they are benefiting. They're already, without even knowing what happened, they're already trying to benefit from this story. It took about 15 to 20 minutes, isn't it? And Western representatives of, Western states, collective West, start making statements and blaming Russia, Russian government on Navalny's fate, which is, crazy. It's so irresponsible to act this way, but they just don't care. They just don't care. They can blame on Russia just about anything, and because they are unchallenged, no one is challenging them from media or from even political class. They can get away with it. So I'm not at all surprised that in Australia, most likely in New Zealand, also like in European states or in North America, US and Canada, for example, they are blaming Russia because that's what they're gonna do. when in reality, I mean, tell me one reason why would the Russian government conduct hit on Navalny? For what? I mean, why? Where is the logic on this? I mean, I truly don't understand. He was a threat to Putin politically with his, I don't know, man, 50 to 100,000 supporters or whatever number supporter he has. I mean, it's not serious, isn't it? He was not a political figure in Russia. He was not. He was not a federal scale politician. He was trying to act as one. He was presented in the West as one. But in reality, you all see these meetings, isn't it? These protest actions on in Moscow streets, in streets on St. Petersburg, big cities, by the way. And he was only managing to gather like a few thousand people. That's it. And he's some threat for Putin. I mean, come on, really. It does not make any sense, really. But he was definitely an asset of the West. I have no doubts about it. His associates were filmed, by the way, filmed while they were speaking with the representatives of, for example, MI6 or Western Secret Services. So it's factual. There were assets, they were used as assets to destabilize situation in Russia. And Navalny in prison was absolutely, had absolutely no benefits for Western ruling class or Western Secret Services. While, yet again, if investigation will conclude that there was some external influence, then by taking him out, first of all, they can create from him some kind of, how you say it, matter, and play on some sentimental feelings of the people, at least some part of the society. And same time, look what happened. Who spoke on Munich Security Conference? Wife of Navalny, isn't it? And it seems like Western ruling elites already start creating this new figure now from wife of Navalny, and this is not something new. They did exactly the same stuff in Belarus by creating some kind of so-called leader from that female, man. I can't remember. I could not care less, man, about her name. But we know what am I talking about, isn't it? She is now in some of the Baltic states, in one of the Baltic states. And, well, Western Secret Services are coming up with exactly the same strategy now. And Navalny's wife already made a speech in Munich Security Conference, blame Putin and his government for what happened to Navalny. Yet again, I mean, it's a setup, man. It's a pure setup. It's a part of some operation, undoubtedly. That's how I see it, at least. And, well, they will continue to push this narrative, but will they gain something? Will their creation, okay, they will try to create from wife of Navalny some kind of political figure. Western media will spend too much time on her, but will she become a political figure in Russia? Will she manage to destabilize situation in Russia? I don't think so, because Navalny was, I mean, not really big deal, politically speaking, without really serious support. And, well, I don't think she will gain any attention or momentum. No. And I said why, by the way. In today's first update, I did said why it is impossible to create in Russia this pro-Western narrative. And any pro-Western politician or public figure is doomed to fail, because Russia on its own, this is in mentality of society here, that Russia on its own is civilization. Russia don't need to be part of some other civilization to feel good about herself. Russia already is self-sufficient civilization. And that's why pro-Western, pro-Eastern, pro-any direction movements are not going to fly here. Only way anybody can gain some attraction is to be pro-Russian, which is great, by the way. This is definitely good defense of society here. This natural understanding that I mean, you have to be pro-Russian, or I mean, you have no chance to be on the political stage. Yet again, Russia is many may argue that Russia is continuation of Byzantium, by the way, or Eastern Roman Empire. Many see Russia as one. And in any case, Russia is definitely a civilization on its own. And it don't need to be, as I said, part of any other civilization. And this pro-this and pro-that movements will definitely don't go well with society. But when it comes to blaming Russian government, of course they're gonna do it, man. They are blaming Russia almost for just about anything. If it's raining too long, it's Russia's fault, man. If it's snowing too long, it's Russia's fault. If it's too sunny, of course it's Russia's fault. How else? I mean, that's the reality that we are living, really. Goonie is commenting, Denmark cannot afford artillery to cover Greenland. Well, point is that Denmark is not under threat from Russia in any shape or form or any ways. Or any other NATO member state, by the way. And once again, or any state at all. Only way Russia may get engaged in some confrontation is if you are provoking Russia. If you are provoking Russia, then you will receive some answer. But otherwise, just look at the map, by the way. Russia is huge. Russia is huge. Russia don't need any territories or anything from other countries. Russia has everything on its own. And I'm quite sure people will be happy to live in peace with just about every country in this world. But unfortunately, Western ruling class wants to dominate over Russia. They want to use Russia against China. For example, they want to have control over this country, this territory, these resources, and they are not stopping. They were provoking Russia, and eventually they provoked this conflict in Ukraine. They are basically waging war, proxy war against Russia. But when it comes to Denmark, well, I don't know, man. It's up to Danish people to think about what their government is doing, because I mean, why Denmark should position, or any other country in Europe should position itself as an enemy of Russia and act this way? I just don't get it. But Denmark, especially, by the way, extremely used by Washington against Russia, not just in terms of weapon supply to Kiev regime, but Denmark, because of Greenland, by the way. Denmark is a part of Arctic Council, and Denmark have been used to promote interests of Washington in Arctic. And Denmark is quite often challenging Russian side on behalf of Washington. And this is bad, though. This is bad, really. But it is what it is, man. Let's go through some questions. Oh, I will check if I may. These sites and this site. Okay. And where are those? Let's continue with the questions. White Falcon is writing, F-16 is a worse aircraft than MiG-29. You know, F-16s, they are. I mean, yet again, it depends what modification of F-16, what modification of MiG-29. They are both very capable planes. They are both very capable planes. And yet again, in the end, everything depends on pilot, on training, on the skills. But when it comes to planes themselves, MiG-29 or F-16, they're great fourth generation fighter jets, fighter bombers, one may say. F-16 is a more fighter bomber type of plane, although very capable in air-to-air combat. MiG-29 is a fighter jet first of all, and although has capability of ground attack. Both planes are good, and it's a big issue. It's a big issue, and I still find it difficult to understand why Western states are willing to escalate with Moscow so much so that they are now, well, officially are saying that they already transferred F-16s, and one may expect F-16s at any time to arrive in the skies of over Ukraine. And they're not going to be any game changer, of course. Russian side will deal with these F-16s in fairly short time. But fact itself that Western ruling elites are willing to escalate with Moscow this much is definitely should worry all of us, because who knows what else they may do, how far they are willing to go in this conflict. And well, I mean, at some point, if they will continue, at some point they will definitely cross some red lines, untold red lines that really are red lines for Moscow, and then world is in big trouble. So that's why this story of F-16s is very dangerous as a story of Taurus missiles. For example, on Friday, I believe, I report about statements of Lavrov when he said that EU is planning to transfer long-range weapons to Kiev regime so that Zelensky's regime will have opportunity to target in the heart of Russia. I guess Lavrov meant Moscow, and well, Taurus missile, theoretically speaking, capable of reaching Moscow. It all depends from where it's launched and some details, technical moments, but theoretically it's possible. And by the way, US has cruise missiles with a longer range than Taurus also. So if Germany will transfer Taurus missiles, that's gonna be also big, huge escalation with Russia. F-16 is gonna be huge escalation. Why Western elites are risking so much, I don't know, man. They are crazy. That's it, really. Let's go through some questions. Dear friends, during the previous live stream, or after previous live stream, my wife told me that there were some questions that I did not notice. And you know what? I'm using now chat through OBS Studio. And for whatever reason, I guess OBS is not showing all the comments. Hard to tell. Or maybe I just missed some questions because, well, there were some questions during the previous live stream and I just did not see them. And I may miss some questions right now also, and sorry for that, but I will definitely try to read the comments. Question here. Bertrand Mosbacher is asking, did some other countries outside the West commented on the issue of Navalny? I guess China said it was Russian business. It's Russian. It's Russia's internal, I mean, stuff. It's not Chinese business to comment on this type of the developments. I guess other countries will also have similar statement. How are you gonna? What is the main point that? How are you gonna comment when you are high-ranking official? How are you gonna comment on developing story when you don't have all the details? Western ruling elites, they are embarrassing themselves by making statements without knowing what happened. They are not even waiting for investigation. It was just 15-20 minutes, and this avalanche of comments from Western ruling elites started and continues until now, which is no, I mean, it's not serious. I mean, how are you gonna take these people seriously when they are acting this immature? They are definitely not serious politicians and not serious public figures. Chinese position was, yes, quite understandable. Chinese representative was asked, and answer was, I mean, it's Russia's internal affair, and what you expect from China to comment on. I mean, what China has to do with it. That's it, you know. And anyway, let's wait for this investigation first and then start making statements. You are official, for God's sake. You are official. You have some responsibilities. You cannot act like, I don't know, man. So... Questions. And dear friends, maybe some other from other countries officials also made statement. I just don't know about it. But I did read that Chinese representative made a statement that it's Russia's internal affair. Z1 to IT is asking, will Russia buy MiG-35s? I believe in Russia's inventory there are MiG-35s already. There was some order on MiG-35s. 20 or 30 planes will be produced for Russian Air Force. Quite a small number, but I believe this order was given to Mikoyan Gurevich bureau to have enough income that they will continue work on some other projects, because I believe right now in development is so-called MiG-41. No one knows what will be designation of that sixth generation long-range interceptor. Some say MiG-41, some say some other stuff, but as I understand, they are in development. Next generation of long-range interceptors. Now Russia is operating with the MiG-31s as a long-range interceptor, and this new one, sixth generation, will be ready shortly. I guess in a couple of years' time we will probably see that plane. It will be presented to public, and just to support Mikoyan Gurevich or MiG OKB Engineering Bureau. This order was given on MiG-35s, and they are very capable planes, by the way. They are quite good planes, extremely maneuverable planes with improved avionics. It's basically looks like MiG-29, but different almost in every sense. So this small package of small order of 20 or 30 MiG-35s will definitely be in demand in Russian Air Force, I believe. And maybe some orders will came from other countries on MiG-35s. That will be great, of course. Question. Humberto is asking, which city will Russia start to liberate next after Avdiivka? Well, my understanding is that Russian side will continue to increase pressure on Krasny Liman sector of the front line, and most likely Seversk will be next. Seversk and surrounding areas. But yet again, of course, general staff is not sharing with me information, and this is just my reading of situation. Maybe it will be some other direction, but I believe Seversk and surrounding areas will become under Russian control. Next, it's necessary to strengthen the line of shorten basically the line of contact. And after all, by the way, if you take a look at the map, Kramatorsk-Slavyansk defense line is right opposite of Seversk. So you need to have control over the Bakhmut, Chisov Yar and Seversk. Also Konstantinovka, of course, on the southern side of Chisov Yar, to start operations in direction of Kramatorsk-Slavyansk, although of course Russian forces can conduct offensive operation in direction of Slavyansk, for example, from the north. This is also possible, but let's see. I think my understanding is that Seversk is next, but who knows, maybe it will be Orekhov on Zaporozhye sector. Also a possibility. Maybe we will see Russian offensive on Ugledar direction. And how do you spell that city? Seversk. C-E-V-E-R-K, Seversk. It's in English, it's Russian name Seversk. Sever, it's north, and Seversk, it's just northern if you translate it. Ronnie McAndrews is asking, do you think the citizens of Donetsk city will feel safer now that Avdiivka has fallen? Well, Donetsk definitely will be in much better place from security standpoint than before, because of course Avdiivka and surrounding areas were used actively by Kiev regime since 2014, by the way, to shell Donetsk. But unfortunately, Western ruling elites, NATO member states, are providing Kiev regime with the long-range weapon systems, and those systems still be able to strike Donetsk. And there already was strikes, by the way, on Donetsk direction. So from field artillery, Donetsk will be more safe, undoubtedly, but from MLRS systems, unfortunately, MLRS systems have much longer range than field artillery, so there will be most likely there will be some strikes on Donetsk, because Kiev regime not gonna change its behavior, isn't it? They will try to hit Donetsk, other cities, and including deep inside Russian territory, by the way, as much as they can, because that's what they are, really. That's their face. And more desperate they will become, unfortunately, higher risk that they will increase these attempts to strike deep inside Russian territory and hurt as many civilians as possible. Question. Yes, Humberto is commenting, Seversk is located in the historical, cultural and economical Donbass region of the eastern Ukraine. It is located 36 kilometers northeast of Bakhmut. Yes, it's on top of Bakhmut, on top of Solidar, by the way. After Bakhmut, if you go northwards, it's Solidar, and after Solidar, next big, relatively big city is Seversk. So, well, how long is this live stream? It's 54 minutes. It's 54 minutes, and I think I think I can end this live stream. So we had a good chat, isn't it? So if I may, dear friends, I will end this live stream now. Thank you all for joining the live stream, for participating. Thank you for your questions, for your comments. I wish you a great day. Take care and see you tomorrow. Bye for now.